right now on
Never ready.
YouTube. What is up, Internet? We're back with another episode of Critique. We've got the crew from Finsweet here. My name's Rymar Tirado. We got Joe Krug, Kai Jolly, and Sergey, the master designers here in the middle. I wanted to, let's see, we had a good episode last week. So we had a lot of fun kind of going through the websites. We got a ton of websites that you all submitted as part of that process that we're going to review some of those this week and go through some of the rest of this. But what's up? Say hi, Joe, Kai, Sergey. Say what's up to the crowd.
Hey, hi, everyone.
Hey, what's up?
Hey. Yeah. Excited to be here. Number 2. Let's do this.
Yeah, episode number 2. Let's give people a reminder real quick of how it's all going to work. Yep. And it's not playing. Perfect.
Check it out. Check it out.
Okay, so here's how it works. Each week, the Webflow community will submit websites for us to critique. Members of the Finsweet team, along with guest judges, will get 5 minutes to review each selected site live on air. The judges, along with members of the audience, will then have 45 seconds to submit their scores before we reveal the overall rating for each website and share our final thoughts. Welcome to Critique by Finsweet.
Boom, boom. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. Oh, did we lose Sergey? What happened to Sergey's feed? Okay, so anyway, we've got a list of websites that we're going to pull up here, and we'll have the ability to take a peek at the websites on the screen. We will share the links as we go through, and you all will get a chance to then vote and participate on giving feedback and letting us know what you think about the design. So any thoughts from the squad here before we get started?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah,
so
welcome back, Sergey. Let's jump in.
Sergey's back. Okay, so could somebody share that first link?
Yeah, I'm back.
If you could share the first link with the audience, we'll go ahead and pull up the URL here, and I'm going to refresh this site because it has a nice little loading intro effect here. And so let's get the clock on the board. And Kai, you're up. Walk us through this thing.
Hey, thanks, Rymar. 5 minutes. I thought we had 8 minutes. I'll be quick. Well, where do I start with this? I mean, wow, this is stunning. And it's a free clonable. How amazing is that, maximum respect to Tyler for doing all this amazing work and making it clonable for free. I think this, if we had awards or Webflow had awards, this is definitely up there for like free clonable of 2021 so far, the best one.
Why?
I think
Can I
it's
get into
amazing.
why are you saying that? So like, yeah, we all see it's beautiful, but talk to me about why specifically.
Sure. Well, I guess I mean, we all overuse the word clean when we describe websites, but this to me is where we should be using the word properly. It's clean, not just in the style and the layout, but all the interactions. It's just the attention to detail is stunning.
Yeah.
He's got a real flair, his own style. He always seems to try and do something a little different, rather than using things that have already been done before. It's very unique. And all these subtle interactions are just really cool.
Yeah, all these little subtle hover interactions are super nice.
Yeah.
Joe, any thoughts?
Those cards on the homepage.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
The cards on the homepage, there's some really interesting rotation and skew on those. I'm so impressed by the intro effects, the way that elements fade into the screen, as well as when you hover over elements. That there are so many unique hover opportunities throughout this, whether it's a button or these are the cards I'm talking about. When you hover over this view button, is also scaling and skewing for you as you're hovering over it. This little touch and attention to detail is what's taking it above and beyond for me. You know, the images are beautiful. It's easy to build a beautiful website with beautiful images, but the animations and the interactions here is what really makes this special for me. Big fan.
Yeah.
Same here. I love
really
this one.
like that. I love the dynamic of the page. So when you just go down, it really has nice flow. The dynamic of the interactions is just on the right level, you know, and the navigation is also amazing. Like when you open this navigation, it's structured. It has clear call to actions. Search in the middle, great touch as well. And yeah, I'm totally agree everything you said about interactions. This is on the right level, and this is a award-winning website. So awesome.
Yeah, and the crazy part is that this is clonable. This is just anybody who wants this can literally come and grab this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and share that in the comments for anybody who's interested in looking at this. Let's see what the audience is saying a little bit here. Let's see, loving the consistency of the micro interactions. Yeah, there's a lot of just little nuance, a lot of little subtleties here, a lot of things that keep you kind of pulling down the page that are interesting and fun to look at. So let's get back on the page here.
There's a really nice. Sorry to cut you off there, Raymar. There's a really nice side menu as well. If you scroll down a little bit, and then you see the word. What is it? What does it say? Discover projects. So that's a nice little
plus. It's just like
it's
floating and following
really
you.
sexy.
This is amazing. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, I agree. So the only one tiny thing that we are looking into the sides, we see this like horizontal scroll sometimes appearing.
Yeah, that's what I was
know
it's
appearing even on like Okay, then go ahead. Blame them.
No, carry on, Sergey. I think we were both going to say the same thing. The dreaded horizontal scroll.
Yes.
We will call you out on horizontal scroll.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
You got to fix that, Tyler.
Okay, so clock is out. Time is up. Let's remind the judges, or let's remind the audience how it's going to work. Remember, so you've got the audience scorecard. Did we share the scorecards with the crew here? Did we share that in the comments or no? Let's make sure we share this real quick with the audience. Here you go. So we're going to put that in the comments. This is where you all can vote. So we'll pin that. And let's see. We're going to put 45 seconds on the clock. And judges, it's time to submit your scores on this site. That's the wrong video.
I'm going big here.
So here's how it works.
I know what happened
here. Each week, the Webflow community will submit.
Sorry, guys. We have messed up the little order here, but here is the 45 seconds.
Okay, I think I only needed about 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Okay, so remember, we're looking for design. This is the overall design aesthetic. The story is the content and kind of flow through the site. Flair is going to be the interactions, the stickiness, the things that kind of pull you into the site. And the usability is kind of the overall functionality of the site. How easy is it to navigate? How easy is it to get around the site, etc. And so we'll let the crowd get their votes. Are we getting the crowds? Okay, so we are getting a crowd score here. Let's make sure Rohan's got us all set up. Yeah, crowd scores are coming in. Okay, so that's 45 seconds up. We'll give just another second because of the technical hurdle there. And let's see what the scores are looking like. Let's do like we did last time. We'll take it from the bottom. So we'll start with Joe here, who brought this in at an 8.25. Let's see. I was next at an 8.5. Kai with a 9.0. So 9s across the board for Kai. It's not updating. Hang on. Let me make sure this is updating here. There we go. There we go. chi-score, and then Sergey with a 9.25. So that gives us a judge's average of 8.75 here. Let's see. The crowd was a little bit more generous. So the crowd came in at a 9.03 for a total combined score of 8.81. So 8.81 for this Webflow Path -2. And again, that's a clonable project. If anybody wants that project, you can go explore, take a look deep inside of the guts of that thing, see how all those interactions are built. That would be a good one if you're looking to kind of see how to build an interactive site that's not overwhelming. This would be a good example for that. So, okay.
Yeah.
Let's.
And if we had, if we had a clonable category, I would be giving it a 10 for for that for sure.
Yeah, Tom is saying nice. This is really nice on Tyler. This is really nice. Penny, yep, I've already earmarked this one for a client. Yeah, this is the great kind of thing where you can kind of pass this off and evolve into your own thing. Learn for an agency site, build it for a client site, whatever it is. And so, yeah, Susan McPhee, oh my God, what a gift to the Webflow community for sure. Okay, so lots of love for the inside site. Let's take a look at the next one that is going to be this meter site. So let's take the URL. We'll go ahead and share this in the comments here, and we'll go ahead and get 5 minutes on the clock. Let's see who's running us through this one. Is this one who's got the clock on this one? Sergey.
This is Sergey.
You're up.
It's mine, yeah. So I think the site is really beautiful SaaS website. It has this nice, on the right side, it's like a 3D model, which is isometric view. I love this style. I use it also like on a variety of websites. And, it's looking awesome. It's really nice and clean. It has nice contrast. I also like the section when you scroll down below default and with the sticky on the left side. We're also doing now the project with this kind of like animation when you just go through the steps, and on the left side you can see, like some kind of animation, related animation. This is cool. I really love it. So all the distances, alignments, like they done really well. This is like good balance. It reminds me Stripe, like the previous version of Stripe. It really reminds me this website. So I would say, like, for the SaaS website, this looking really well, really good. Like, different components. So it's not like completely unique, but this is on a style, unique enough to be, really well SaaS website.
Yeah, it's got that clean for sure from an enterprise standpoint. This is like everything you could ever dream of for like a high-end, really crispy, just concise, no extra movement, no wasted words, like all of the like images kind of speak to the page, so you have this beautiful like silhouette here, so it's not real heavy, but it's there, and they're showcasing their product all the time. And so you just, this is one of those things where, like, if you're aspiring to build SaaS software, websites, company tech products, etc., like, it's just beautiful. Anybody else thoughts? Joe?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with everything that's been said so far. Really nice build. I am particularly really feeling the illustrations throughout. I went on the home page, I went on the product pages, the approach page, and I feel like they're really trying to tell us what this is all about without text, without video explainers, without other tools. So I'm really liking this. I think it feels custom, but yet it has this very safe and recognizable SaaS style. Right. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this. The only thing I would like to see is a little bit further look into something like a dashboard. I'm guessing there's some type of dashboard here, and I clicked around and I see that it may be a mobile app. That's the last thing that I'm looking for here. Some type of dashboard view.
Yeah, looks like some kind of Wi-Fi mesh device. I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe there is no dashboard view.
Yeah, maybe just like an admin console when you just log in to like configure the router or something. But it looks like it's just hardware that's repeating Wi-Fi signals and stuff. So yeah, clean, super. Sergey, any thoughts on the design here?
Yeah, as I said, design is great for the size website. It's like, the proper level of illustrations, animations, so it's not overwhelming at all. Typography is on the right place. I think it's really well-made website.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if there's anything.
Yeah, I really like.
Go ahead, Kai.
Sorry, Ray. Back on the home page, it's really subtle. I didn't actually notice it at first, but it's really nice. If you scroll down a little ways, what actually look like images. Scroll down a little bit further to the next white space. This section. These, yeah. I thought these were static images, but it's not showing up on the screen here. But if you just stay on that little section for a moment, it all starts to animate really nicely.
Yeah, just very subtly. Got like it's showing all the different screens.
And just one thing on a super big screen, the hero image, the isometric image. Obviously, on a smaller screen, it cuts off to the right, which looks really cool. But on a big screen, it's not cut off, so it feels like it's hanging over to the left.
Yeah.
Like it's. I don't know if you're seeing that, Sergey, on your screen too.
Okay, that is 5 minutes. Just to keep things on time here, let's. I'm gonna try this again. Let's see if we can get 45 seconds on the clock. Rohan, let's see, is a scoreboard open? Did we delete the other crowd scores from the first round? Let's go ahead and get rid of these scores, and we will open that up. Okay, so let's put 45 seconds on the clock. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it worked. Okay. All right, so remember, we're looking for overall design, aesthetic. How does a site make you feel? What do you think about the look, the illustrations, all of it? Story is content, so what's the information, on the website? What is that telling you? Flair, interactions, and stickiness factor, everything that kind of has to do with pulling you into the site. And then usability, how easy it is to kind of get around the site, navigate everything as you go. Okay, 2 and 1, and we're back. Okay, so scoring is in, crowd scoring is in. Let's go ahead and shut down that scorecard from the crowd, and let's go ahead to the lowest score again. Joe, starting out with Joe. Joe's grinding axes today. He's at the bottom of the scoring poll. He's being rough with a 7.75, which is probably still a pretty fair score. I came in just a little bit higher than that, tied with Kai at 8.0. So Kai and I both scored it at an 8.0, and Sergey's just a touch higher than us at an 8.25, giving the judges average an 8.0. So that's a pretty good score from the judges there. The crowd is a little bit higher than us. So the crowd went 8.57. I'm trying to see where specifically the crowd was higher. Yeah, overall on design, about half a point higher, and just a little bit higher on usability as well. So a combined total score of 8.11 for this meter.com website. Let's take a look and see let's see, what would you guys do differently on that main hero image? Somebody's asking. So Kai or Sergey, what might somebody do a little differently there?
Yeah, this is a tricky one. That's what I was just mentioning a second ago, because obviously on a huge 3,840 pixel wide screen, you wouldn't want it to be cut off at the edge, else the image itself would be huge. So it's tricky. Maybe on super large desktop, I would just line it up flush with the edge of the container. That's one option. Or even line it up flush with the edge of the container, but then cut off the right half of the image so it's still half cut off.
Well, they've got some space here to move this text to the left, you know, so they could push everything.
Yeah, but I think they really wanted to stay with 2 lines of text, you know, so it's not going to be like 3 lines, the main headline. So that probably was one of the requirements from the team to keep this like in 2 lines. And I know how it's coming from the client. And that's why they sacrificed this image, right? So for people to read the text, but for sure on small screen, you will see this image is cut off a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's
I think it shouldn't change. I actually I like it as is. I would not change it. I think that image scales really nicely. I want to see more of it because it's really beautiful, and I'd love to see more of the accents. So I say stays the same. I'm a fan.
Great. Okay, so there you have it. Let's get the next URL into the chat here. And I think some of y'all maybe have seen this circulating around the Webflow community over the last couple months, but we thought it was a beautiful and clever website, and so we're going to walk you through this, and I'm actually going to take the lead on this one. So let's go ahead and get 5 minutes on the clock here, and this is boom, it's a beautiful site that right off the bat just kind of gives you this little great design, no nonsense look. So real clean with the words, but as soon as you scroll, it brings in a little silly, playful interaction, which is just super beautiful. And that's happening tied to my scroll. So as I scroll down, it's literally just grabbing this text. the text goes dead, and then as you scroll down the page here, he starts telling the story about who he is, creating digital products, user experience, branding for 16 years. So it's a beautiful, real simple, everything's clean. The little color change of the background, and this, let me get rid of us real quick so we can see this, because this is a cool little thing as it comes across the bottom of the screen. You've got, again, just a real unique way to share, you know, the different skills and things that he does. And so love the little animations here. Again, very simple, lots of spacing, it's wide open, everything's clear. Shows a little bit of his process here with these beautiful sketches, and a little bit of the work with the results here. So just showing the work, you know, and then little testimonials. So just beautiful and clean, and like you just want to keep scrolling. When I saw this site, like I just wanted to keep going, and I didn't really want it to stop. And it does scroll for a while here, but you kind of get lost, and then you can take a look if you want. Like, but even look at that. Like, look how just it's a beautiful little, like it's tugging, like it's a tugging rope that makes me want to pull on that little arrow there, and it's just beautiful work. So I'd encourage everyone. This is like a master class of design and interaction here. This little, let's see. So if I try to bite the if I try to click on it, he comes up and pops. And so, yeah, just super clean. And any thoughts? Like, and clean. Okay. It's such a cliche word.
It's clean.
Sorry.
It's clean.
Like
yeah. It's not as clean as the first one.
When I just started scrolling this website, it made me laugh really loud, because this is so cool. Like, you see this, like, you know, typography, and you're not expecting that this typography gonna be animated at all, like, you know, and then you see like the word is just like got cut with this huge dinosaur, which you will never expect this happen. This is crazy. This is like really, you know, something which for the flair, which will stick in your mind. This is like, you know, 100% points here. This is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hero is really cool, isn't it?
Any ideas how you think this works?
Is that a Lottie or a video? Or...
It's maybe Lottie makes sense, but like the other question is this text? Is any of this text? You know, Okay, so no, it's none of it's like clickable text. So maybe the whole thing is just a interactive Lottie sequence there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
This is a Lottie.
so cool.
It is in fact a Lottie.
Yeah, and I love the next. Yeah, I love the next section with all the logos flying around. That's really cool as well.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
has
as they
nice
come in.
dynamic. Really
This
very
section,
staggered.
yeah, that's really
Yep.
nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Right.
I think this
And
this
it-
website is next level for story. That I already know. I'm giving this a 10 for story because, like Reimar said, you want to scroll through it, and by the end of this website, I feel as if I know this person a little bit, at least a little bit of their personality, which is what you want to come across when you're putting out your portfolio site or your personal website.
Yeah.
You want people to feel you. So that's exactly what this is doing for me. I'm a huge fan of all of these big interactions and micro interactions. If you start hovering over things like these learn more buttons, I mean, come on, that's cool. Look at that. I've never seen that before. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm giving double thumbs up to this. Really big fan. Great.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, what I love is showing his portfolio is almost like an afterthought. It's like, oh, and here's a few of my projects, and check them out. That's a really cool portfolio section.
Yeah, and it's kind of got that allure to it, right? Like you already know you're probably you're starting to think like, I wonder if I can afford this guy. It's kind of what you start thinking when you see a portfolio like this. It's no longer like, can this person deliver what I need? It's, can I afford or get this person's time, right? Is my project cool enough for this person to say, yeah, I'll spend my creative output on it? And I think as a creator, as a designer, that's all you could ever dream of or wish for. So, okay, Rohan, let's open up the scoring. Judges, let's get 45 seconds on the clock and let's do it. Remember, we're looking for overall design aesthetic. We're looking for the story. As we talked about on this one, that's the content, that's the flow, that's the, that emotional connection through the words. This is going to get some high scores, I think, all the way around.
I'll give
Flair,
him my first ever 10.
Yeah, interactions, etc., usability. Yeah, I think we're all gonna slide a 10 in on this one, huh? Okay, so 10 seconds to cast your vote. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, Rohan, go ahead and close up the scoring on that. Let's take a look. We've got, man, this is for sure going to be the highest scored site on the show. We've got a 3-way tie with the judges. Again, Joe is just a bit underneath here at 8.75. So Joe's on the low end.
Strict.
He did go a little tight here, but still a high score, almost a 9. The rest of us, myself, Kai, and Sergey, all scored it at a 9.25. Basically, it was 3 9s with a 10 in between. I think this is as clean as you can get to that. Judges average a 9.13, which is dead on with the crowd. The crowd was right on it this time. So 9.17, we're right in line with the crowd scores on that one for a combined total score of 9.13. Great job, Oliver. That's a beautiful portfolio website, man.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we missed the menu as well, Raymar. That's nice as well.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Get
Nice.
those little...
Cool.
All right. So next site, Mac and Puya. Let's see, .com. I'm going to go ahead and share that in the chat so you guys can all follow along as we go. Let's go ahead and get 5 minutes on the clock, pull the score here. And Joe, I think this one's all you.
All right, let's go through this. This was designed and developed by Timothy Ricks, and I think he nailed it. This is a fantastic website. The header here says, we capture all the feels, and I am feeling this website. When you scroll down it, you can immediately tell that this is very custom. And I'm getting the sense that the service is custom, this business is custom. And that's a really, really strong feeling. Going to the build your own package. This is fun. I was clicking around this for several minutes, and I am not in the market for wedding photography. It's just fun. I mean, we have sound effects. It's super interactive. I love it. And maybe one of my favorite parts right under this, the Say Cheese, you hover over this, and I am literally feeling these photos. We have this 3D effect. They're moving around. This is awesome, next level work. So, and at the end, let's scroll all the way to the bottom. Oh, drag and drop. There we go. Nice. Super cool, super fun. Yeah, it's making me want to get married again. This is just too cool. Look at this. These fun balls. I mean, you can just have fun on this site, and that is such a beautiful part of website design and development today. Using Webflow, we're able to create these experiences. I give this a quadruple thumbs up. Great job, Timothy Ricks. And yeah, who's next on this one?
It's such fun throwing those balls around at the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah. That little
you can just pick them up, throw them around. I love that. Yeah, I agree with everything.
This
Joe
is so
said.
awesome how he's combining this sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sergey.
It's okay.
Oh, okay. I'm so amazed how he combines brutalism with weddings. This is amazing because all the shapes, colors, the contrast of everything is so great that you can focus. Even having so much colors, you can anyway focus on every piece and enjoy every piece of this website. So this is really cool, super bright, like flare, 100%, 100 points here.
Yeah.
Because this is something which is like stick in your mind forever, and if I'm married, but as Joe said, if I would marry a second time with my wife again, I would probably go and review this website and choose the service.
Yeah.
This is cool. Yeah.
Well, and the cool thing is that, like, if you're vibing, like, on a wedding, if you're planning something special and you want to, like, commemorate that moment in a really unique way, like, you could go to a typical photographer's website and maybe you see something fun or interesting or like cool pictures, but you already get the vibe that these people are going to be fun to work with. They're going to be, like, looking at interesting ways to present your wedding and your story. And so, like, if they're telling their own story like this, what are they going to do when it comes to telling, your story as part of that wedding experience? And so, as a sales tool and as like a marketing tool, it's more than just design here, because you're, like, designing the experience that people are going to have as they think about planning this event, right? It's like a once in a lifetime event that they're trying to, like, create this emotion around. And you would spend a little bit extra to work, with somebody who, presents a little flair like this. And so, yeah, kudos to just kind of thinking through all of those little details.
Yeah, what I like, I guess it's a neat little Rick. Is he seems to have chosen the color palette from the photos, which I think is a great idea. It's always can be a challenge to match, SVG illustrations with photos, but by combining the color palette with the photos, that's a very cool trick. And I really like the little bookmark idea, top left, where you can just send the URL to yourself. That's a nice little feature.
And the other thing is, Colleen was saying in the comments there that Timothy Ricks has turned some of these things into tutorials and videos. And so if you're interested in kind of learning how to build some of that, check out his YouTube channel over there. That's a great resource for this kind of stuff. Here we go. The clock is winding down. And so, Rohan, it's time to open up the voting. And let's get 45 seconds on the clock. Okay, so remember, we're looking for overall design aesthetic, the storyline, the flair, and the usability. And I want to answer a question that came in from the crowd here. Let's give that, hang on, let me get my scores in, that way I can chat. Okay, so somebody asked, were these submitted by the form? the rest of the websites are. Some of them are. So some of the sites we take from the websites that are submitted from the crowd, and some of them we pick. As designers, we kind of pull and pick and share the sites that we want to show. So we're going to have a blend of those. The rest of the sites coming up here are all submitted from the crowd. So 10 more seconds to get your votes in there. So looks like we're getting some glitching on the countdown clock, huh? I'm gonna need to like re-render that in 720 instead of 1080, I think.
I can't stop playing with those balls in the footer. This is really cool.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing as well.
They're fun. It's so fun.
Okay, let's see. I need to get rid of my show hide bookmarks bar. Okay, there we go. All right, so looking at the scores here, who was the low score this time? Tied between Kai and myself at an 8.5. So both Kai and I scored the site at an 8.5. Joe and Sergey both scored the site at a 9.0, giving the judges average of 8.75, which is right in line with the crowd. The crowd was just a little bit more generous than us at 8.89, so a total combined score of 8.78. Which is a nice score.
Nice.
That's a nice score for that website there. So, all right. Let's see. The next one we've got here is going to be this. Let's see. Close this. It's this designed by LA. And this came in from the crowd. I think this person was in the chat earlier too, asking. So designed by LA.com. Make sure that goes up there. Let's put this in the chat. And this was, let's see, Liviu Asioli. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but yeah, hopefully you're still hanging with us. Let's go ahead and pull the scores from the previous site down. Clock on the board. And who's walking through this one?
Me. Sorry, I'm just changing my icon to a heart. There you go. Yeah, I love this. Yeah, it's immediately impactful, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to
really,
get rid
really
of
nice.
us real quick just to show this little interaction at the bottom of the site here. But go ahead, Kai.
Yeah, I just love the boldness. You know, it's not afraid to go big with certain elements, which is great. It looks fantastic on my large screen. Scales really nicely. I love, again, you know, these image sections. You know, all the attention to detail with the overlays and the flash acrosses and the hover states. You know, the vertical text. The menu again is really nice. And again, you know, what makes a difference is, you know, really good quality photos and imagery. Presumably they're portfolio items.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this the first time I went around. These custom hover state interactions here are really
nice.
dope. The way you go from product to illustration, you know, and highlights on hover is just real nice touch there.
Yeah, it's got a really nice flow. And like I said, on a large screen, it just works really nicely.
Yeah. Anybody else have thoughts here? Even just this scrolling text is nice and subtle. It's not overwhelming. Go ahead, Sergey.
For me, it's a little too big. I do love this. I love how visual this site is, but there are some graphics that are actually larger than the height of my browser. And for me, that's just a little too big. I like to have a little bit more of a view when I'm looking at a website. However, the things I do like are these very unique accents. I mean, we see these arrows on the edge of these portfolio items, very interesting vertical text, this vertical rotated text. I mean, all of these little touches that we see throughout this build, it's making it unique. We see a lot of these types of sites that don't have these unique touches. I think this one does have the unique touch. And my only comment would be a little bit smaller in some places.
Yeah. I'm gonna disagree a little bit because I think, and I guess I see what you're saying, but I love that it's like the typography that like eats into the image here and creates these really abstract like breakups in the screen. Because I'm kind of like, what am I looking at here, right? So I see that it's like this big fat A, but if I look real close, you know, it's like their brand element, and so it's like, I don't know, subliminally they're just kind of shoving these fat abstract shapes in my face and reinforcing that brand identity a little bit throughout the whole site. That I'm not sure I get mad at that or that I mind that. But and even this logo, like look at this little interaction when you load the page. Just lots of subtle, clean touches around the edges that like they spend a ton of time thinking about the nuances of these little interactions, and to me this is my favorite part. These little custom illustrations on hover, it's just so unique.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, branding of the website.
Yeah, I really like when
is
you first
awesome.
scroll.
And also check the transition when you're using navigation and you go through the pages. Check how smooth the transition from page to page. So I was also looking into how it's done, and for sure it's using JavaScript library that you can just like this transition from page to page. You even doesn't feel that you're going to another page.
Yeah.
So it's like really well done here, and I agree with all you said. Just wanted to point on this, like transitions. It's really well done.
Yeah. Let's see what the crowd is saying here at all. The website looks like it belongs in an art gallery. I built up my courage and submitted my last project. Okay, fingers crossed. Babis will hopefully get to that at some point. Let's see. So yeah, this is a real clean site here. 10 more seconds to review, but we could probably just pull that here. So let's go ahead and get 45 seconds on the clock. Rohan, go ahead and open up the audience scoring and let's see what people think about this site. So again, this is designedbyla.com. Very bold, abstract site. What would you classify this as, Kai or Sergey? What would you call this? This is like what style site would you call this?
Yeah, that's tricky.
Okay, so remember we're
I
looking for
have two words, like
yeah.
maybe fucking awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Does it belong in a group of styles? Maybe not. It's unique.
Yeah, it does have a very like that abstract flair. It's just got this like abstract, uniqueness that.
Yeah, I love that initial scroll when you're on the hero, and then it's just really subtle, but just the way that the hero headline scrolls down, and then the white section comes up, changes the little button in the bottom to black, and then the text appears. That's really nice.
It's just things that you don't expect, right, to see a lot. And that's every time you can do that on a web. That's a good move. So okay, let's get to the scores here.
Man, if you can you check the shop? If you go to the shop page, and can you check what they done with chats? This is so awesome.
What is it?
Yeah, I want to have them. Why not?
Joe, 7 across the boards here. 3D printed chess set with puzzle. Okay, so they've got pieces of chessboard that are like kind of their branded elements. So
Nice.
okay, Joe's got a 7.0. Joe is the critic among us today. 8 1/4.
He is.
Rymar with the next that's me score up 8.75. Kai and Sergey both tied at an 8.75 here with the judges average of 8.19. The crowd thinks just slightly higher of the website at an 8.58, which brings us to a total combined score of 8.27 for this site, which is still a really nice score for this type of site.
Scoring high today. We've seen some great websites today.
We have.
They've all scored high.
And let's see, is the audience saying anything about this one that we need to, let's see, nothing news, only feedback. Okay. Yeah. So let's get to the next site. This one, let's see, EJ Paving. So let's open up EJ Paving. We'll get this shared into the chat. Okay. So let's take a look. Who's walking us through this one? Joe, is this one you again? Or is this one me?
Someone called Raymar.
Oh, yeah, this one's me. All right. All right. So let me pull the graphics here. Okay, so EJ Paving submitted from the crowd here. Very just kind of like, there was something that spoke to me about this site, right? It's like big, chunky. It's like a bold, in your face, not a lot of wasted words in the space here, right? And as we were looking through, you know, we're thinking like, oh, this is just kind of like, again, big, easy shapes. Oop. Zoomed in on my screen there. Okay. And just real simple, easy to navigate, you know, direct to the audience. You could tell, like, once I started looking at this, I was like, oh, it makes perfect sense because of the audience that they're trying to talk to here, why this is kind of like simplified, you know, real in your face here, specific to this industry, right? The paving industry. You got contractors and, you know, people who are probably not living in front of a screen, right? So they don't want to spend a lot of time navigating some site with lots of nuances and a lot of intricate places to look. They just want everything to just be there. And that's, you know, this site does that really well. These testimonials here, I love, are big, wide open, the tease a little bit so it shows you that there's more, but there's no, again, no wasted design here, no extra elements, there's no frills, but it's clean, little subtle interactions. So you do get a little bit of that refined feel where, you know, you're looking at a quality website, but it's not overwhelming. You know, there's nothing here that's like super distracting, just delivering the goods right up front. So navigation, real clean. You know, real easy to get through. Again, no wasted words, no wasted elements. Everything's just simple and works. What say you?
I absolutely agree. This is like, you know, I really like how they make it bold. And with the logo, I'm pretty sure this logo was established so many years ago. Like, you see, it's from 1987. So many years this logo been on the market, they didn't want to change it. And the design made across this logo, you know, those two yellow stripes, you can see them all the way in the website. It's so well established into the design, you know, like colors and those two lines, they playing in different, you know, like elements of the website. And when you look at the photos, those photos are not as sexy as we've seen them on other websites, but for this industry, those photos that they use, they are exactly what they should use, right? And that what they have. And sometimes, like, when client provides you this kind of photos, you say like, okay, and you know, like, you know, it's tricky to do something with that, but this is on a right level. So, like, you know, the logo, design combined together, this is like really well designed websites for this industry.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. Kai or Joe, any other thoughts there?
Yeah, I agree with what's been said. It's very, very bold and big, which seems to work really well for this industry. And like you said, Raymar, it's straight to the point. And I do really like the slider. It seems to be on an infinite loop.
Yeah.
Testimonials.
One other thing is that these images, this is such a, we keep saying this, but these are real images, right? Like, look at these. This is probably like a family business here. This is this, I don't know, right? Like, I'm just assuming, but this is actually them in the images. And this is such a small little touch, but like, it shows that they're real people. At the bottom of every page, you've got like a real person here that's, again, in the business. And so, like, I bet this is, you know, like, this is probably a bang up website for them. This probably exactly what they needed from a, you know, just a whole look, feel, delivery, everything. I could imagine this is like this was a bang up home run for them.
Looks like Harry Potter works for
I
them.
agree
there.
with that. Everything is on point. Right website for the right people. The one thing that's missing for me is a bit of boldness and a bit more styling on these call to action buttons. We see everything super bold, super clear, awesome to read for quick scanning, and then we have the Oswald font on these buttons, and it's thin, and it looks like it's the less important part of the page. Anytime I have a call to action, I want that to be, hey, click me. This is drawing your attention. Come click me. And with a font that thin, when compared to the rest of the bold site, I would like to see those updated. That would be my only comment here. Everything else super clear. Love it.
Great. Okay, Rohan, go ahead and open up the scoring. Let's clear out the votes from the last score here, and let's get 45 seconds on the clock. Okay. All right, so remembering, we're looking for design, overall look and feel of the website here, the story the website tells, flair.
Can we say it's clean?
Yeah, I think you can say it's clean. I think we're gonna have to have a clean counter on the site. We're gonna need
I think
to
we can only say that once.
Well, I think what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to set up a counter on the show, and every time we say clean, the audience is going to have to drink or something. That's going to be the next.
Or like a bingo card.
It has to be the. Yeah, we could have like judges bingo, right? We could talk. Yeah. We could have all sorts of games about that. Okay. So let's see how the scores came in now. Voting has closed, and this time we've got Kai on the low end with a 6.75. Kai, throwing bows on him. Okay. I come in next at a 7.25. Joe is a little generous here above that at a 7.75. So Joe really liked this site, the clean nature of this site. I think probably the speaking to the audience. And I think a little bit of, just kind of judging based on the audience, right? So it's a little bit of a different metric here. Sergey, high score of 8.0. Right, so Sergey thought the story was real strong here and the usability. So let's see, judges average of 7.44, which is exactly what the crowd came in at. The crowd came in at exactly 7.44. So the combined score matches at 7.44. Let's see, were there any thoughts and comments? 100% on the agree. Okay, yeah, thanks, Nick. Babas, the hierarchy could be improved. For example, the call to action should be differentiated at the moment. That's what Joe was saying, I think, is kind of like those calls to action could be a little bit more in your face. Colleen could also use a copywriter to go back through some of the grammar. Yeah, Colleen, that's a good catch. But again, dealing with probably a very not super sophisticated audience here. It's probably a low priority, but I hear that you should always go through and take a look at some of that stuff. So okay, Div Flow is the last site. Let's get that URL up on the board. Let's share that with the crew here. And let's clear out
me.
Site. And Joe.
Hang on, before we start this one, can I just clarify what we say clean a lot. What do we actually mean when we say a website is clean? It's not just white space and...
No, it's not.
What are we actually
it's not
saying
like
when
white
we say a
space.
website is clean?
I think it's about balance, when you don't see it's like overwhelming with too much elements and interactions. It's like when it's on a balance and on the right level of, photos plus illustrations plus icons. Everything has nice spacing, like not too squeezy. This is when it's come to clean, not overwhelming.
And
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
that's a great definition, and I'll add, nothing is misplaced. When I say something's clean, nothing seems like it's out of place. Like, what the hell is this thing doing here?
Yeah.
So that's another addition to Sergey's definition.
Yeah, and maybe it's the order. So along with the balance, you've got some order to the page, right? And so like if we were looking at that a more brutalist, like even though the abstract can be clean too, but you're not like the spacing is even, there's just like a flow to the page, right, where it just feels right, it makes you feel right that it's clean. It's got this look. When you walk into a house, you know, you don't have to have like a fancy house to walk into somebody's house and respect that they've got a clean house, right? Or that this place is tidy, that it's kept in order. And I think that's the same thing on the web here, where you get that clean look. It's like, okay, I appreciate that there's some care taken here. There's some thought given to where things are positioned. It's like, it's got some kind of, you know, aesthetic thought process given to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hierarchy is on point.
Yeah.
As Babas mentions, that's a good description too. Yeah.
Yep. When Babas saying,
interesting.
Hierarchy and the contrast in present. Yeah, easy to use. Okay, great. Okay, so let's get 5 minutes on the clock and send it. Go for it, Joe.
Okay, we have Div Flow here. And if we start scrolling down this site, we'll see that it's fixed scrolling. Nice intro animation. I do really like that. We see fixed scrolling. So if you go down this, these are scrolling in section by section. It's not a smooth scrolling experience. I am not a fan of this, especially on a home page. I do see that we're going after the steps here, and it is an important 1, 2, 3 step process. I would love to see that on the steps page, a page dedicated to the steps here. When I go to a website, I need to be sold before I spend my time scrolling through these sections. I don't know how many there are. I need to know what I'm doing before I go through this 1, 2, and 3. So not a fan of this. I think this really lowers the usability of the site. I think there's a lot of potential here. I see some interesting brand elements. I think the logo is interesting. This is a very interesting, the text, this border outline text I see in recent work, very interesting. But this homepage is not really doing it for me. I think the fixed scrolling needs to go away, and I think you need to focus on more of smooth scrolling, interactive scrolling, things that are much more smooth. And that's even what I think about when I look at the logo, Div Flow. Like it's flowing, it's smooth, and this break doesn't do it for me.
There are some nice interactions here. So there's like some, you know, it's like close to being really nice. But I agree. I don't ever like when something controls my fixed height scrolling like this. It's just not good for the user experience.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I want those animations to happen on scrolling.
Yeah.
I don't know if it also works for you. For my magic mouse that I use, like, you know, when I scroll down, sometimes I have like this animation is scroll down and scroll down. So I'm skipping one step.
Yes.
So like, you know,
Yep.
it's not sticky on the right place. It's just like down. And also, like Joe said, for the homepage and for the hero, you know, little tiny things are changing on this right screen, and I have to focus to understand what exactly is going on. So it's not clear, and those changes are tiny. So it's not really clear what is going on. It doesn't tell the story. I have to focus to understand what is changing, and the changes are not, you know, like contrast enough. It doesn't have enough contrast for the changes here.
Yeah. I do like this page interaction when I scroll and load a new page. That is a nice little interaction here. Going to the contact page, this leaves me, this feels a little, I don't know, something about this feels like I'm not going to convert on this. I don't know exactly what it is. Yeah. I don't know if it's just a stepped form for something like this. Like, let's see what happens if I put my name in here and go to the next. Okay, email address. So it's going to ask me for that. And next is like a staged. Yeah, something about this form does not speak to me well. I don't love this form from a process standpoint. And there may be a little bit more on the page. Like I might want a prompt to tell me what am I doing. I don't know that I want this stretching full width here. So something about this page leaves me feeling a little unfinished, which I think hurts the conversion ratio, right? I bet this impacts the conversion on that. So just some thoughts there.
It seems to be missing
can you
some
imagine
images.
that long name?
What's that?
Can you imagine that long name? So they give on this form like super long field. I don't know how many characters you can put here, but this is like super long, and I never seen that long name. So
Yeah.
You could type.
and another thing is
You
that
could type
on the homepage,
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious
yeah.
in that field. Sergey,
Another
I'm
thing,
surprised you
on
haven't
the
mentioned.
homepage.
Sorry. Carry on, Sergey.
Sorry, man, we have huge delay, right? So I was about to say that recent work, only 4 selected works they have, and you can see only like screenshot, tiny on a hover. So maybe you should put more love into your work, into your portfolio, so because the portfolio should speak for what you do. So that is like your face.
Yeah.
And this is really tiny face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Sergey, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned the position of the sidebar menu.
Yeah.
But I do like the subtle grey kind of bar that goes up and down with the scroll on that side menu. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know if you guys are getting this. When I hover on the edge of the Div Flow logo, the logo is like stuttering like this.
Yeah, it's trying to
Which
do
happens
this
quite a
little.
lot with some interactions.
It's trying to do some
don't know if you
kind
can
of
make it-
hover interaction, but it's not very clean. It's definitely like a little glitchy there. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
lots
actually
of
flashing. It's flashing for me, that logo.
yeah. So lots of nice touches, but lots of work here that could be refined. This could be a good one for a redemption round, actually. But let's go ahead and get 45 seconds on the clock here. And let's get the judges' votes. Let's get the crowd votes. Scoring is open from the squad here. Let's see. Well said, Sergey. Like the scroll indicator inside the fixed menu. Go ahead.
I'd like to give a few touch up opportunities for Div Flow. Div Flow, I recommend putting a max width on your form-w class. Set it to 500, something like that. That's going to make that form a lot smaller. The max width can do that. And then also for that logo effect in the top left, consider putting a parent div on that and having the trigger as that parent div, and then the logo inside will move. And that way you can give yourself just a little bit more space, a little bit more padding on that hover trigger. So those are two things you go and do for this.
Nice. Okay.
And the one cool thing that I like is let's talk call to action. So when you get to the last screen, it jumps from the top right corner into the middle. It's kind of funny, you know, like how it's transitioning.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look here. The scores. Don't hate me, Div Flow, but I came in on the low end here at a 3.75. And I'll tell you why I ding the usability so much. It's because it keeps scrolling multiple sections on me. That fixed width scrolling is really not good. It keeps doing like 2 or 3 sections when I try to scroll one, which was Sergey was talking about there. So okay, next up is
feels
Kai.
really sensitive.
Yeah. Next up is Kai at a 5.0. Joe
Straight down the middle.
and Sergey both scored it at a 5.5, which gives us a judge's average of 4.94 here. And the crowd saw it a little bit better. So the crowd sees it at a 6.19. So the crowd's got a little bit higher score than I think we did on average for both design and story. I guess as well as flair. So anyway, full combined score of a 5.19. So there you go, Div Flow. It's a nice little anchor score there This would be cool to see as a redemption round website. So it'd be cool with Div Flow to take some of those thoughts and see what what a V2 of that might look like, especially as it's a portfolio, and it should always be kind of like looking to improve that portfolio. So let's see. Any thoughts from the crowd? Any thoughts from the judges? What are we thinking after episode 2 here?
Are we allowed to say our favorite of the show?
Sure.
Well, I'm going back to Tyler's site. I'm just so impressed that that's a free clonable that we can all share and access and use, and it's such a unique professional design. So yeah, kudos to Tyler.
Yeah, this will be one that you'll see a lot of entry-level Webflow users. You'll start seeing a lot of Webflow sites having this kind of look and feel to it, because I bet a lot of people will start using this for kind of projects and freelance work and stuff. It's been cloned 1,500 times already, something like that.
I was going to ask, how much has it been cloned? Nice. Wow.
Yeah, so like
my
1,449 times already.
Yeah, enough said. Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay. So, anybody else have a favorite or another thought they'd like to share with the crowd?
I just want to say that this is so awesome to see those awesome websites, and I know it's tricky to build for the client something that you love and the client also love it. So it's like like with marriage, you should find a perfect client, you should have a perfect match, to get the perfect project in the end. And as we see so many like awesome projects, I'm really like surprised how many like beautiful projects we have. So it means that this match was perfect. Client plus designer plus it's really awesome to see all those websites, and it's like really hard to judge because every industry requires some certain design level, design style, and all the websites that we've reviewed today they were all great. Like, a lot of inspiration taken from those websites for sure.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice. And I'd like to say, everybody, please continue staying involved with this show. Come submit us your sites. Come back next week. If you want to be a judge on this, come and message us. We want to do a lot more with this. And we're seeing that people start watching this show and they watch through the whole thing. So that means we're doing something right. Let's continue doing this. Let's have this as a collaborative effort. The crowd, us, everybody involved. And I'm really excited about this one. Really successful show too for me.
Just shared in the chat. If you'd like to apply to be a judge, there's a form you can fill out. We've got, maybe we should announce Nelson Abalos and Joseph Berry next week. And so we've got 2 new guest judges next week, and we'll try to keep rotating judges out. We'll bring judges back. We'll have just a variety of panels. And so this way we won't get stuck having the same folks and feedback. And we'll be able to get a huge stable of the top Webflow developers kind of cycling through and give the audience just a different perspective on design and whatnot. Sorry if I offended anybody there, Kai.
And then we have to start voting on judges.
Yeah,
the judges need to go through the same voting process as the sites.
That's right. That'd be funny. The crowd can vote for their judges each week.
Can we submit sites?
What do you mean? Yeah, you can submit sites in the sites? Oh, you mean to be critiqued like our own sites?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that, but you shouldn't be on the panel.
Yeah.
That reviews.
I was going to say, can I be a judge and critique my own site? Tens across the board.
Yeah. One other thing that would be interesting that we talked about is like doing a deep dive every once in a while. Like this site's clonable. This inside site is clonable. It might be interesting to just open that thing up and look at the structure of the site look at how everything's named, and that could be helpful for people as well. So if you're in the crowd and you think that's interesting, you'd like to see that, leave a vote for that in the comments, or share that thought with us in some other way. And like and subscribe to the video here. So if you're subscribed to the channel, if you're not subscribed to the channel, we do the growth show on Tuesdays. This critique show looks like it's going to be a Thursday staple, and we're looking to do other streams and things like that. And so subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video. Any other thoughts from the judges before we close out of here?
Thanks, Raymar, for hosting.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yep. And please, guys, keep doing those awesome websites so we can take inspiration from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of the fun of this whole Webflow design thing. It's it's so much sharing, and especially when you get into clonable stuff, the nature of the design community inside of the Webflow world. Everyone's kind of building off of each other, and it seems to be so positive and encouraging. So yeah, thanks for hanging with us, everyone who's here in the crowd. And let's see, are we opening up the co-work or no? A few minutes in co-work, or not today? Let's see. It's already 1:10. You guys got time? You want to hang? Throw the link in the chat, Rohan. Let's do it. All right. That's all. Awkward close. Bye. Kill the stream now. Hurry. End it before it's all over. No. All right. See y'all in the co-work. Bye.
Not waving.